Alright, so this is going to be a short Neo vlog, even for the Neo vlogs. But, or maybe it won't, I don't know. Every time I say short, it seems like it ends up 28 minutes. But, the thing is, I thought I should talk about, first, one little thing, is that if in the next, like, 6 months or something, unless my channel suddenly blows up, in which case I wouldn't want to leave the source that people know how to access my videos from. But if in the next 6 months, it's doubtful, but if in the next 6 months, something similar to YouTube, but other than YouTube appears and is seeming to gain some major traction, I'm just going to move over to there, because there's been so many things with YouTube that I pretty much don't like YouTube as a source, right? But the problem with YouTube is that it was pretty much the sole platform for a long time, and now it's the sole platform, but it's also owned by Google. And Google is able to be unanimous and yet own the industry. One thing I've noticed, because I upload these videos through Microsoft Edge, because of course I have to have a Google account for YouTube, but the problem with Google is if you ever log into like Chrome or something like that with an account other than your main one, it instantly links them, and as far as I know, you can never unlink them. As it is, I think it might have already linked this to my normal account. I don't know if I can undo it, but anyways, I didn't want the accounts to link, because at one point I tried to create a little YouTube account for like gaming, as I think as like half of males in my age group have at some point attempted to do. So I attempted to do that, and one thing I noticed is that pretty much instantaneously, YouTube locked, or Google locked my account to my other account. So it just saw it as my other YouTube account, but it knew it was me, and that's the thing. I didn't think that I could maintain anonymity if I locked this into my identities, which are already known to be me. So yeah, okay. So that was that rant. But the reason for it was that I use Microsoft Edge as their new recreation of Internet Explorer. It's actually a pretty nice thing. I think it's really just been demeaned by the fact that it was connected to Internet Explorer, which was just a mess. Which I think still exists somewhere. But anyways, as like an active thing that Microsoft is constantly developing. But anyways, Edge I use, and I've noticed in Edge, every time I open up a website like Google, of course I could just use Bing, but I found it to be awful as well. They revolutionized Edge, but they didn't waste their time with Bing. But the thing is, every time I open up Google, it constantly pelts me with like, oh, you should try Chrome. And I've tried to find a way to have it like just not tell me that. Like, I'm using Chrome. I use Chrome for everything but YouTube, or at least for everything but YouTube on my laptop even. So I even use Chrome for YouTube on my home computer. But it keeps pelting me with that. So YouTube is able to be unanimous, but basically force people to use their programs. Well, so the thing is that I think that it's unlikely, more or less, that there's gonna be any other existing option for at least a long time. And if an option does come along, I think one of the major companies is just gonna snatch it up really quickly and then ruin it. It happened with a lot of websites. I mean, they don't ruin them all, but like, you look at Skype got bought, Hulu got bought, Crunchyroll got bought, YouTube got bought. All of the major websites that do nice things just get bought. I think that the thing is, people are pretty much used to these websites, and I don't know if they're gonna change quickly. I think that they will change. I just don't know if it's possible at this point for them to. Like, I think if anything comes along, it's just going to be either Google might just spend the billion it would take or whatever to outbuy it from Microsoft or whatever, and then just incorporate it to YouTube. We'll call it Bubble. There's a new YouTube-like platform called Bubble. Google spends $1 billion to outbid Microsoft. Now it's YouTube Bubble. So, and they have the same rules, the same guidelines. So I doubt the platform is going to come along. I know Vimoto was almost a thing for a while, but now it seems to just be YouTube, but less aggressive with copyrights, and like some sort of arty platform. Like they're willing to work with artists a little more, but then they also have like nobody visit it. 99% of the times I've watched anything on Vimoto, it's been because I Googled it and then Vimoto came up after a YouTube link. Oh, wow. I didn't even think about that. If something does come up and it's like bought by Microsoft or another big company, or even if it's not bought by anyone, YouTube might just like send their links to the bottom of Google, and that just ruins them. I mean, it ruins Google's credibility if anything is found out about it. But like, I don't know, I'd keep using a Google with a horrible reputation, because what the heck else am I going to do? Use Bing? Yeah, so I wanted to say that. It won't happen, but I don't like YouTube very, very much, and if there was another option, I'd hop on it. But the other thing I wanted to bring up is possible new series. I've noticed that I pretty much stopped using the journal, which I've brought up a couple times in this series, but it seems that all I was doing in the journal is talking about things I wanted to talk about, except it took too long to write them down. And I did slightly more arty stuff, like I'd write little poems and stuff, bad ones, because I'm not a poet, I'm not an artist of any kind, but you know, if I thought of something and it's like, oh, that rhymes, I'd like write it down, and that's that. But I pretty much stopped using it because this channel serves basically the same purpose. But I realized something recently. The upshot to nobody watching these videos is that I can do what I want with them, which is really fun. So I was thinking that I'm considering if I should more or less start translating the journal into these videos, at least certain parts of it, the little poetry stuff. But a lot of it, I should point out that a lot of the things I wrote in that journal were really just like, oh, I thought of like 2 sentences that fit together and sound all, you know, it sounds like you could have gotten that from a book of phrases from ancient Greece. So I think of something like that and I write it down, and I was thinking if I should make that into a series. Either I could like record 5 of them at once and then upload that, or I could just make them individually. And if I did make them individually, they'd be like 4 seconds long to 30 seconds long. So I don't know if I'd want to render. I think I might want to just upload those straight if I do, because there's no point in. Well, I mean, I could render them in like a minute. So I wouldn't know if I did create that series. I wouldn't know if I'd want to create an intro or an outro for those. Then the other thing is that I would. I'm not sure if I would want to. I don't know if what other stuff I would upload from the journal. Maybe just the poetry stuff. Maybe just the ideas. But the thing is, if I started translating the journal, I'd get a really huge flood of stuff to talk about, and a lot of it would be old. Like a lot of my opinions have changed since I wrote that stuff down. A lot of my views have changed, and a lot of it has the natural embarrassment of something which I thought in the moment and then wrote down a year and a half ago. But I might go about converting at least some of it to this platform. If nothing else, this platform is it has about the lifespan of the internet. Even if some other platform does take over YouTube, even if something like that does happen, I doubt YouTube is going to completely go away. Maybe it will, considering it's got to be, you know, I think YouTube is bigger than, it's like 6 Wikipedias at this point in terms of information, and that's an accomplishment. But, you know, the journal is only as mortal as paper is the thing. I could, you know, if my house burned down, I lose a year and a half worth of thoughts. no, I lose like 10 years worth of plots because there's been other journals. That's just been the one I've stuck to more than any other journal. The other ones were like, yeah, for 3 months I write in it every day, or well, no, it's like for 2 weeks I write in it for every day and then I quit, or for 3 months I write in it once a month. But this was the most successful journal, but then it also has stopped. So I might translate some of that stuff. Conclusion time, I guess. I'll consider what to translate and how to do it. I think I might go about that route. I don't know if I'll add an intro and outro, but I think I might translate the poems individually, just because rendering time aside, they would take like 3 minutes to upload and a minute to record. So I could just knock off like 30 of them. But if I did that with the poems, I should add, because they're old thoughts, I'm gonna upload them out of order, I think. I'm going to upload them in the time, I'm going to set them to upload in the times other than, I guess I'll set them to upload, you know, every other day, or maybe, no, that would still overlap it. So maybe I'd still set those to upload every 3 days, but I'd upload them around the other videos, so it'd be like normal video, poem, nothing, normal video, poem, nothing. But the poems, again, they're like 30 seconds long, so I don't think you should hold your horses and wait for those kind of videos. It's just when you're watching the other thing, you might click on the poem and laugh at how horrible I am at writing poetry for all of the 20 seconds that video would take. So yeah, that's the possibility for the future that I'm currently considering and strategizing for. I don't know how I'd upload that. Oh, also, I found a major flaw with YouTube, and that's that the whole scheduling uploads thing isn't perfect, because it seems like it just kind of, it only works for like half my videos. I don't know if there's some kind of limit to it, but the thing is, it seems like some of my videos I can schedule time for. Some of them I'm going to have to go in and upload them day of. But as best as I can, the videos will be 5 a.m. every 3 days. But they won't all be that. It's going to be, I don't know what the holdup is. Like the first 10 videos were just like, yeah, schedule. And then the 11th one didn't work. I thought it was a glitch. So I went on to the 12th one and I said it's 6 days later. And then I went on to the 13th one and it just didn't do it. I went on to the 14th one, it didn't do it. But then I went and uploaded a video and it's like number 20 or something, or 22 in the backlog. And it let me schedule that one. So I don't really know what the thing is. Maybe it's just when I'm uploading it, I can schedule it. And then it's like, I have like a limit of 10 plus when I'm uploading them. I'll have to look into it. But the main problem is the way I was I don't know, maybe I'll just add 3 repeatedly and then I'll figure out what the current upload date. Yeah, so I'll try and do that. But anyways, the 5 a.m. thing doesn't seem to be completely a thing that's happening, nor does the automatic uploading, but I'll try and figure it out. I can't find anything about it. There's been other people who have had this problem, and the only solution I think I've found is that you have to be like one of the official channels, and I know to do that you have to have like 100,000 views or something before they let you do that. And so what I figured out is that the other people who've had this problem and haven't had it resolved are pretty much people like me who haven't had their 10,000 views and aren't making money, and aren't making money for YouTube, so YouTube doesn't waste their time with them, which is fine. I get it. But yeah, thought I'd talk about all that. This is a very complicated video for all that it's 14 minutes long. But it's still a Neo vlog, so enjoy the dogs. All right, so I suppose he's saying goodbye for us. Yeah.